Rhinos can frolic, or at least a rhino can frolic and prance, and it's wonderful. Some letters to Santa are a little demanding. Honest, but demanding. Plus, sometimes Christmas lights can make for a moving violation. I sounded a little Jim Carrey Grinchy there. It's joyful and triumphant. Let's take a look on the bright side. Hello, my friends, and welcome to the bright side. I'm your host, Bob Herzog. Let's just skip to it. The holidays are a joyful time, but they can be a tough time. Throw in everything else that's happening in the world right now, and you need something to make you happy without having to think too hard about it. Fortunately, we can get that to you right out of the chute, and really from just right down the street here. See, some want a hippopotamus for Christmas, but a rhinoceros can be pretty great too. Fortunately, at the Cincinnati Zoo and Botanical Garden, you can find both, and the zoo provided these videos. The world-famous Fiona, sweet as she is, might make the naughty list after this little maneuver, biting Mama's butt. Now look at that. I like how she looks right at the camera like, what did I do? This is perfectly acceptable hippopotamus behavior, and, well, I'm sure it is. Now, in terms of sheer cuteness, Fiona does have some competition these days. Look at baby rhino Johnny Joe. Just frolicking around there, prancing out in the rain and the mud. I had no idea that a rhino could be quite so festive. And keep watching, because at one point he tumbles, and it's so ridiculously sweet, I just can't take it. Like, look, just plop, just right in the mud, and then just pops right back up, starts zipping around again. Makes me want to sing Tub Thumping by Chumbawamba. Alas, I don't have the licensing necessary to sing or play any popular music without potentially getting in trouble. You just don't always get what you want, I suppose, and I have a feeling a 9-year-old in the United Kingdom is about to find out that for herself. Have you seen this? Lots of kids write letters to Santa. It's a wonderful thing, but this letter from a girl in Essex is a little, well, just look. The girl's big brother posted a picture of it to Twitter. She's straightforward, honest. She explains that she's been bad this year, totally deserves coal, and yet, Father Christmas, why don't you just tick off the boxes as you go? She wants Apple AirPods, a Nintendo Switch, a PlayStation 4, and a PlayStation 5, also a new laptop. It's not all technology, though. There's travel, a trip to France for 5, thank you very much. And then my favorite, a penguin and panda with this note about those animals in parentheses, not dead. Santa, don't bring any of that dead stuff around here. Not about that dead stuff. Anyway, the little girl ends her list by writing, hopefully you succeed to fulfill all my requested items. So that's one way to go. Kids are funny, man. I think this next approach might actually yield slightly better results for like all of humanity. An 11-year-old boy in Virginia says you're never too young to be good to others. And this isn't the first time he's lived out that credo either, having already raised money to help single moms during the pandemic. Well, now Chelsea Donovan tells us about his latest good deed.
He had sweet success this summer.
Lemonade! Snack bar!
Raising a whopping $45,000 to buy diapers to give to single mothers. First getting our People Taking Action Award before gaining national attention for his little lemonade stand.
I wanted to help single mothers during this pandemic.
Cartier Carey, just 11 years old, isn't doing these deeds for the spotlight.
And I didn't think that people would actually interview me and, put me on shows.
The tart treat was so successful, he's moving on to toys.
That's like a kitchen toy set, slime from Nickelodeon, a drum set, a football.
His nonprofit Kids for Change 757 is playing the roles of Santa's elves this year.
It makes me feel like a wonderful person because, I'm actually helping people and, saving a lot of lives.
Just in 1 week, he's collected a mountain of gifts.
We're giving these out to kids that haven't had Christmases, and, we just want to help them. We don't want them to feel left out, so why not help?
Growing up in Hampton, Cartier says he saw too many people working to make ends meet.
I said, why not just help them instead of just seeing them struggle every time?
This weekend, he and his Cardi pack will hand out these toys to low-income families in Newport News.
Yes, a lot.
A little boy with a heart of gold doing his part this holiday season.
You're never too old or never too young you could always help out the community and, you know, make them feel happy just like you're happy.
I love that kid. People can support Cartier's effort by buying something off of his nonprofit's Amazon wish list, or they can send donations to Kids for Change 757 through Cash App or Venmo. Now, some giving traditions at the holidays have been around a lot longer than Cartier's generous plan, but this year, even the most tried and true do-gooders have to find new ways to, well, do good. And my buddy Brad Underwood is back to show us how a local union is answering the call for hundreds of children in need.
Wrapping gifts for 282 children takes a little bit of time. But to the men and women of UAW Local 863, it's something that brings them joy this time of year.
Whenever they're called upon to open up their hearts and their wallets for our communities, they do that without hesitation.
The Adopt a Child program is nearly 30 years old. The Ford plant workers partner with a number of agencies to identify families in need. They make a list, they check it twice, and they make it happen.
To put a smile on their faces, we can't be more proud of that.
The toys and clothes will soon go out for delivery using donated vans from dealerships. To give you an idea of how big the operation is, this pile is going to the Boys and Girls Club in Butler County, over here to Lincoln Heights. This is going to the Village Pantry in New Miami, and this pile is on its way to Felicity. But the kindness isn't immune to the pandemic. Changes had to be made. Without as much access to schools, about 120 less kids will be getting gifts. But the union members found other ways to give.
So far this year, we've donated $4,000 to the March of Dimes. We collected $2,800 on a gate collection for our local food pantries, and we've adopted 282 kids that are going to get toys under their Christmas tree this year.
Without the Adopt a Child program, those gifts wouldn't be there.
I couldn't think of a better way to end the year by doing something great for these children.
You know, and I think it's really important to note that while this is happening in my area, there are groups all over the country still doing good, still hoping to help, and still finding a way. Now, doesn't that just almost overwhelm you with the spirit of the season? Fantastic. Of course, you know, you can go a little too far with these things. A Wisconsin teen found that out. 18-year-old Tyler Camholz decked out his car in Christmas lights. Look at that. The lights cost him around $30, but if he leaves them turned on, they could cost him a lot more. See, he recently got pulled over by a Wisconsin state trooper who said she liked the lights, but they were against the law. A bit distracting for other drivers, I suppose. Luckily, Tyler got only a warning and was told he can keep the lights, but they have to stay off when the car is on the road. Houses tend to be a bit more stationary. I mean, mobile homes move, sure, but that just screws up the segue. Anyway, I bet you can think of a house in your community, or at least not terribly far away from you, that goes above and beyond with holiday decorations, right? Well, in a small Illinois town on the Iowa border, that house belongs to the Genovas. The family puts up a walkable winter wonderland. As Shelby Kluver reports, it provides more than just cheer.
In a year of so many downs, one Coal Valley yard has some ups, blow-ups that is, and around 130 of them.
We started this back in 2007 when we had a house fire for our kids. It gave them something to look forward to.
There's plenty of familiar Christmas faces and some unexpected ones, even a 26-foot tall snowman, all spaced out for visitors to explore.
It just really takes you back to what Christmas is actually all about.
That's Stephanie Genova. Her and her husband Tony are known for their Christmas celebrations.
Every year we do more and more, and every year we get more and more people, and this is the most we've had so far.
This year, the Genovas brought in Mr. and Mrs. Claus, kids' crafts, hot chocolate, and goodie bags.
It was really fun. Yeah, I really like all the light up things. The hot cocoa was delicious. Oh yeah.
But there's another side to this free event.
We're accepting donations of food items and also monetary donations.
It's the family's second annual kickoff to Christmas, and the donations will be creating food baskets for families in need.
Every family gets a pie, either a turkey or a ham, one box of stuffing, vegetables along with gravy, plus dinner rolls, so they get quite a bit of stuff.
Last year, the Genovas made 5 baskets. This year, they're hoping for 10 or more.
So that's the reason we mostly are doing it, for the enjoyment of others.
Spreading a little holiday cheer at a time when we could all use some.
And the Genovas say this year's turnout like double that of last year. Stephanie thinks people are especially ready for some holiday joy after a difficult year. So we've obviously been sort of Christmas heavy this episode, but I hope you don't mind if we mix things up a little bit before we finish. First, this birthday celebration for a really cool lady who recently received an official proclamation in Sharonville, Ohio. She turned 105 years old. Lillian Russell had a little birthday celebration at the Mallard Cove Senior Living Community. She was born in 1915 and said she's happy she never got the 1918 Spanish flu or now the coronavirus.
I eat healthy. I do some exercise. And I read, so I have things to do. I don't sit and look at television all day.
Long lives run in Lillian's family. Her mom lived until she was 108, and all of her sisters lived well into their 90s. Lillian has things to do. I love that. We have things to do. At least one more thing. One more to inspire. And this gentleman, well, he has things to do too. This 93-year-old veteran is using his handyman skills to help a nonprofit. Danielle Malagari, explains how he's giving back by whittling walking sticks.
John Hobson is a retired Air Force colonel, but this 93-year-old isn't slowing down anytime soon.
If he just got put somewhere and told him to sit down, he'd go crazy.
His son Mark tells me his dad's urge to work has turned him into a self-made walking stick whittler.
Here you go.
By July, Mr. Hobson was selling them, but not for himself, for the Xenia area fish food pantry.
He's just a sweet man that gives a darn about other folks who don't have nothing.
When he isn't in his shop, Mr. Hobson can be seen in his front yard, selling his handcrafted sticks to those passing by for just $3 or a donation to the food pantry.
It makes me feel good.
While Mr. Hobson makes it look easy, he says it can take about a day to make just one. So far, he's whittled about 100, each made with a purpose, each made from the heart, each showing that with a little bit of time and hard work, we can make a difference.
We have orders and people wanting to come by on Monday saying, when is he going to crank out more?
Now, I checked this morning, and John's gotten so much attention that he's out of walking sticks. His GoFundMe supporting the Xenia area fish food pantry, however, is over $9,000. So you can still give to that if you'd like. Well, that's going to do it for this episode, and this is actually the last episode of The Bright Side this year, so let's call it the end of Season 1. We'll kick off Season 2 on Friday, January 1st, 2021, and not only will the episodes still be available here on YouTube, but we're going to be releasing them on Facebook as well in the new year, so be on the lookout for The Bright Side with Bob Herzog Facebook page launching soon. So like all this stuff, subscribe to all this stuff, share all this stuff, because maybe someone you know needs to look on the bright side. Merry Christmas, my friends. See you next year.